We are on the road to having a healed girl summer. Yes, I said healed girl, not hot girl. We are about to go into part 2 of our healed girl summer series. If you missed part 1, I'm gonna need you to rewind, stop, pause, go and watch that, and then come back to this. So you can't skip the first step and just automatically go to this step. Like, there are steps that you need to take to get to full healing. Hold on, I'm getting a little thirsty. If you already watched part 1 of this Heal Girl Summer series, then you kind of understand what it means to be a healed girl. It means to become sound or to make healthy again. It also means to be or to make whole. This series is about restoring you into being your whole self, complete in who God has called you to be. So what I'm saying to you is, this summer and for the rest of your life, I want you to be confident. I want you to show up, and I want you to take up your space and really and truly know who you are, because we're not trying to be outside with all kind of issues inside. No, because I don't want you walking around this summer with all kind of broken pieces everywhere, because at the end of the day, what I realize is baby, I'm only damaging myself. I'm damaging other people because I'm not a whole person, but I'm just pieces of a person, shattered, broken, and in need of some healing. If that's you, I just want you to know that you're not doing this alone. I am a prime example of what it means to be a broken girl, of what it means to be in need desperate need of healing, being broken to progressing and walking into my healing and progressing into my healing day after day, year after year, week after week. We love a healed girl. We love a healed girl, period. And you just may be thinking to yourself, what's the deal with healing? Like, why? Because healing is painful, but I want you to know that it's necessary for growth and for change to happen in your life. So if you really want to elevate, if you really want to change those things about you that are broken, healing is needed. Let me know in the comments below or message your girl on Instagram and let me know your thoughts about being a healed girl. And if you've decided to take up your challenge, baby, let me know. Let me know how it's going for you. Let's hold each other accountable, because that really helps out so much. So leave it down in the comments below so that we can get some encouragement into being healed girls. In this video, which is part 2, we are going to be talking about the next step. We talked about you healing your foundation. Now we have to talk about you healing your relationship with yourself. Because if you really think about it, a lot of us use different coping mechanisms to kind of not have to deal with our own healing process. So because we don't want to deal with our own problems and our own issues, we be out here trying to fix and mend everybody else, and we don't take care of ourselves. We don't want to take the time and effort and the energy to heal our relationship with our own self. Baby, you gotta take care of you. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to step on your toes, but my toes had to be stepped on first. Let's not forget that this is the process that I went through first. So when I was at the most broken point in my life, and I realized that I would rather consume my time with fixing and mending and hearing about other person's problems and issues and trying to help them, but pushing myself to the side, my feelings to the side, the way I was feeling to the side. And I was not doing a good job with putting me first and taking care of me and healing me. I was on there trying to heal everybody else but me. I was out here posting, trying to help everybody else, but failing to help my own self. So if that's you, baby, I know how it feels and I know how it is, but I'm here to tell you that you have to stop doing that. We live in a society where some persons feel like it's selfish to take time for yourself or to care for yourself. If you don't do it, nobody's gonna do it for you. You're gonna be watching other people thrive and walk in their healing, and you're going to be like, but I'm still broken. So before I go any further with that, I want you to know that in order for you to even begin healing your relationship with yourself, you have to have self-awareness. You have to be aware of what happened, what brought you to this place of brokenness, the things that you did, because we can't go around blaming our brokenness on everybody else and not owning up to the things that we did ourselves. Because I know for a fact you can't truly heal your relationship with yourself without having self-awareness and then having self-acceptance, accepting those things that, you cause your own self to go through. So you need to be self-aware, and then you need to accept what happened. You need to accept the trust that was broken between you and yourself, and that is how you begin to bridge that gap and begin to trust your own self again and begin to heal your relationship with your own self. This requires a lot of reflection. You guys see why we need to be inside? We need to be reflecting on how we got broken in the first place and how we contributed to us getting to this broken state. And that's where you healing your relationship with yourself begins. Like I said, it's not selfish to mend you. It's not selfish to take a step back and realize, like, I'm grumbling and I need to do what I need to do for me right now. Because you have to pour into you before you could ever pour into others. How you gonna pour into others with an empty cup? That's why we don't know how to treat people. That's why we be rude to people. That's why we be walking around angry all the time, because we're trying to pour from an empty cup. Even when I find myself getting agitated and getting snappy, I realize, like, hey, my cup isn't running over right now. Is going on. So I need to take that step back and I need to take time for myself. So you need to take care of yourself and make healing you and your relationship with yourself a priority. And it goes way past self-care and it goes way past self-maintenance. We're talking about the healing that needs to be done on the inside and taking care of yourself inwardly. Whether that looks like you sitting down with yourself and confronting certain things, writing certain things down. And I realize that it's important for how Angelique is gonna show up in the world. How is my relationship with my own self? Do I trust myself? Do I love myself? Do I find joy with just being able to sit with myself, to sit with my mind and my mentality? Because if you can't do that, you're going to show up in the world either on fake mode, or number two, you're gonna show up angry, you're gonna show up mean, because you haven't healed your relationship with your own self, which is key and which is why it's important for us to dissect what this means. So it's very important for you to take down some notes. So I'm gonna need you to go and start writing in your note section on your phone, or if you like to do it old school like me, go ahead and grab that pen and that paper and let's get to work. So like I said, mending your relationship with yourself requires a time of reflection. The first question you need to sit down and ask yourself is, what are you focused on? What am I focused on? We could be focused on so many different things because it's a lot going on in this life in general. So many things are after our focus and after our attention. But I'm gonna tell you this, focusing on the right thing isn't easy, but being distracted by the wrong thing is. You need to remember that focusing on the right thing, the thing that you're supposed to be focusing on your healing, focusing on your relationship with God, focusing on reading your devotions, focusing on prayer, focusing on the thing that God has placed in your heart, the business, the dream, the goal, focusing on loving your wife correctly, focusing on loving your husband correctly, focusing on the right thing isn't easy. And I think that we could all say that, because I can say focusing on working out, for me, it wasn't easy. Focusing on being intentional about eating the right thing wasn't easy. Focusing on picking me and my tiny pieces that were shattered off of the ground and beginning to put them back together and beginning to work on myself and work on my mind and work on me. It wasn't easy. But you know what was easy? Being distracted by the wrong thing. Being distracted by scrolling through social media all day. Being distracted by comparison. Being distracted by trying to live a life that isn't your own. Being distracted by going out every night because you can't sit at home with your own self. Being distracted by so many things that aren't adding to your life is easy to do, because I've realized that focus requires sacrifice. So if you're not sacrificing something, it means that you're probably not focused, but you're distracted. So when I say really sit down with this question, really think about what it is that consumes most of your time, what it is that you're really focused on in this life. Is it really healing your relationship with yourself? Is it really healing your relationship with God? Or is it focusing on making it look like you're healed? Making it look like you've been doing the work when you're really struggling. This conversation is about to get a little deep, and that's why you really need to reflect on what has your attention. Is your attention on the social media IG bodies, trying to show up like them, trying to please the masses? What are you focused on? Girl, this is like a therapy session. I love it. No, but for real, what are you consuming? Because what you consume is what you're going to end up producing. If you're consuming things that aren't adding value to your life, then you can't be shocked when your life is producing what it is that you're consuming. You can't be shocked when you don't know yourself anymore. You can't be shocked when you're out here lost in the sauce. How are you going to heal your relationship with yourself if you're consuming everybody else's life? Baby, some of us need to consume therapy. Some of us need to consume our time at the gym, working out, doing something nice for ourselves. Because what you consume is what your life is going to produce. And if you're not focused on the right thing, then you're distracted, period. So that is the first question that I had to sit with and ask myself, like, what do I focus on? Why do I do certain things? Like, why do I consume so much of this? Because you can't heal your relationship with yourself if you're distracted by things that aren't good for you, things that aren't adding value to your life. Now, the next question is, what does your environment look like? Do I surround myself with wholesome people? Do I surround myself with persons that are going to applaud me with the wrong thing? Because a lot of us love to be around persons that are going to affirm our foolishness. Don't be around people that are going to applaud your brokenness. We're not doing that. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Persons of integrity, persons that can pray for you, persons that can cover you, persons that can actually give you sound advice. A relationship, a friendship, it has to be reciprocated. It can't always be, oh, you leaning on me. Baby, I'm trying to rise up too. I'm trying to heal my relationship with myself too. It can't be one-sided. It can't be you elevating and the other person just all mouth but no action. Because at the end of the day, I don't care what nobody says, but birds of a feather flock together. And I believe that when you look at who it is you hang out with, when you look at certain friendships and certain company that you keep, it tells a lot about if you are truly healed. Healed people move differently. Healed people hang around healed people. I'm not saying that you can't help somebody that is struggling, but like friendship, being a friend is so sacred to me. Like we can't be out here loosely talking about, oh, that's my friend. The thing is, I literally just went to this event that was centered around friendship, and the person I was speaking volumes, because they was like, you really can't be out here calling everybody a friend. You need to categorize. And that just blew my mind away. If you're my neighbor and you know we talk, you need help or whatever, like whatever, you're my neighbor. If we go to work together, you're my co-worker until time and seasons can tell if I really can consider you a friend. Are we on the same page? Are you gonna be there for me through the different seasons of my life? Are you willing to change your own life so that we could both elevate together? Because this is what friendship is about. And your friends could either help to bring you up or they could tear you down. It could take a long time for the tear down to be revealed and for you to realize like the damage that's low-key being done to you and your relationship with yourself as a result of you being around certain people and surrounding yourself with certain friendships. Because at the end of the day, you need to protect your space. If you really sit down and think about like, oh, why am I really friends with this person? Is it because I just knew them for a long time, but we really don't have like anything in common? A lot of friendships just be toxic. They bring out the toxic side of you. All I'm saying is that you need to protect your space. And outside of friendships, what environments are you putting yourself into willingly? Like, are you still out here going out for drinks when you know that you struggle with alcohol? Are you still out here picking up calls at 12 a.m. when you know you're not strong to say no to that man? Because he's gonna come for you and y'all gonna end up where you're not supposed to be. And then the wound is gonna be all open again. You're gonna have more shattered pieces, and then you're going to have way more work to do. And I'm trying to alleviate the work that you have to do. So like, what environments are toxic that you are still putting yourself into? What friendships are toxic that you are still connected to? Protect your space. So we talked about focus. We talked about, you know, our environment, our friends, but let's talk physical now. Where are you physically? Am I where I need to be with my healthy journey? Am I filling my body up with junk 24/7? Because I have no self-control. And that's something that I need to heal from. Because I need self-control and I need discipline in my life. All of these things uncover the root issues, because if you don't take care of yourself physically, it's a root issue to that. Like, what are you struggling with? Why do you cope with consuming large amounts of food? Why don't you care about actually getting up and doing some type of physical activity? Why don't you care about the way that your body is going to be showing up for you in the next 10-15 years when you're going to have kids and then you potentially have health issues and all of these things? You need to take care of your body. This is for everybody. If you're on the chunkier side, if you're on on the smaller side, because size doesn't mean healthy or unhealthy. It's what you consume. It's what you do with your body. Like I said, healing is a holistic thing. So we can't look at healing from a mental standpoint and fail to look at it from a physical standpoint, because those two are always going to connect. We can't have a disconnect there. We need holistic healing. And it may be hard because, of course, if you know me, then you know my story about how I lost 75 pounds and I never went back since. It's because I fixed my focus. It's because I changed and I was intentional about changing my environment and my space and protecting my space. It's all connected, because if you get these first steps, it's going to run over to the physical side of it. And it's not going to be like overnight. It's something that you're going to have to install and become a habit, because this didn't happen for me overnight. I had to trial and error, fail, get back up, fail again, eat a whole box of pizza, binge again, get back up, start all over. I had to do the works in order to get to where I am right now and be able to help you with the stages of healing your relationship with your own self, because this is what I had to do for me, for myself. Those 3 things, chef's kiss to you healing yourself. I promise you, if you sit down and you ask yourself these questions and you write down your response, you would be surprised, because that's a whole therapy session. I'm telling you. You might even end up crying, because it's a lot. Like, unpacking things about yourself, healing your relationship with yourself is hard. It's hard work. Dissecting, focus, protecting your space, and taking care of your body. It's hard work to unpack all of these things, but it's necessary. And it's why we need to be inside this summer. You understand? We have a lot of work to do. Thank you very much. So of course, the girlies already know I'm not about to leave y'all hanging with just those questions, but I'm a practical girly and I need to know what it is that I can implement and start implementing now. Like, what can I do? So before we end the video, I'm gonna give you some tips on what I did personally to help me healing my relationship with myself. And I hope that these tips help you the way that they came through for me. So the first thing I need you to start implementing is checking in with yourself weekly. Once a week. I prefer a Sunday or a Monday morning for me to sit down and reflect. Realistically, writing down my reflections every single day, like at the end of the day, isn't realistic for me, because by the time I hit the pillow, I'd be sleep. So check in with yourself. Check in with where your focus is at. Check in with how you feel about your focus. Are you making any progress? Check in with how your environment is looking. Are you making any progress with protecting your space? How is protecting your space making you feel? Like, are you angry about it? Because we could also have soul ties to friendships as well. Write it all down. Get it all out. Check in with yourself. It's between you and you. It's between you and you. So you can be as vulnerable as you want, which is why these check-ins are literally so important and has literally helped to change the way that I show up, because I am aware of my feelings and what it is that I'm going through. I'm aware because I check in with myself. The second tip I'm gonna give to you is 2 words. Say no. Say with me, no. Say no. I mean, you know, can't really get more simpler than that. I mean, I don't think that there's much for me to explain with that point. Healing your relationship with yourself, learning to trust yourself again, learning to trust your focus again, learning to trust your environment, learning to trust your body and how you handle it and how you steward it again. It's a process, and guess what? With processes, they take time. So you can't be saying yes, 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 yes to everybody else and saying no to you and what you know you need in the season. So like, the season is not gonna last forever. Like, you healing your relationship with yourself, at least I pray, you don't have that much things to go through that's gonna last forever for you to be like in a box forever. No, it's gonna last for a season. But like I said, healing is an ongoing thing. Healing your relationship with yourself, because there might be situations and things that come up that is going to require you to heal and reconnect with yourself again. But we're talking about healing from the bottom, like unpacking everything, and then hopefully you don't have that much to unpack through life anymore. Do you get it? Do you get where I'm coming from? So that means that you have to say no to some things. Some people going out to certain places, like, you got works to do. Stop saying yes, yes, yes all the time. I could tell you, in the workplace and personally, I used to find it so hard to say no, because I just felt like no was so harsh and so mean and so selfish and so self-centered. Baby, sometimes that's it is what it is. If the person you're saying no to kicks up an attitude, gets offended, doesn't understand where you're coming from, then that's even better, because now you can see where you need to categorize them. okay? And the third thing is you need to focus on you and not everybody else. This is your journey. This is your healing process. Like, you can't focus on what this person is doing. You can't focus on, oh, this person is side-eyeing me now. Oh, this person is doing this and doing that and going outside and da da da. You need to heal your relationship with you right now. Don't focus on everybody that's appearing to be having fun. Social media is an illusion. You're in your own lane, you go at your own pace, and give yourself some grace. And the last thing, we can't go through this life without this one thing. You need to set your boundaries. That is my favorite word. Boundaries and me, we go together real bad. Real bad. You can't get between me and my boundaries. You just can't, because they mean a lot to me, and I worked real hard to put up the boundaries that I have. So I just can't allow you to get between me and my boundaries. No, it's not gonna happen. Sometimes you may lose sight of your boundaries because certain situations and, you know, these things that happen. But you have to try. You have to try to stick to your boundaries. You have to try to stand on whatever it is your boundaries are gonna be. For you to focus properly, you're gonna need boundaries. For you to not get distracted, you're going to need boundaries from consuming certain things, from social media, from being around certain people. You're going to need boundaries on how far to go. You're going to need boundaries on what environments you can go into or what environments you can't go into, because you just can't keep doing that to yourself. How you take care of yourself physically requires boundaries. You need boundaries so that you can stay in line with what you need to do for you. And that's it. That is all that I have for you. I said what I said, and this is part 2 of our Heal Girl Summer series. We still have 2 more parts, so I'm super excited for part 3 and part 4, because baby, it gets juicier. So as you can tell, I can't wait for the other 2 parts of the series to come out. So make sure you don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, turn on your post notifications so you don't miss part 3 and part 4 of the series, because it is about to get real. We're about to address some things, and like I said, this is our therapy session. This is our road to healing, and I love that for us. So thank you guys so much for watching yet another video. Like I always say, I love you guys so much. Y'all, we are literally at 400 subscribers. Are you joking? Are you kidding me? That may be a little to some people, but that's a lot to me. Thank you guys so much for subscribing and supporting the Inspire family. Y'all, we are doing things out here. I don't just be saying that. Like, we be doing things. Like, God spinning the block. I don't want my content just to be content. I want my content to impact you. I want it to inspire you to be the best and to show up as who God has called you to be on this journey we call life, baby. So I'm so happy for all 400 of y'all. For me, coming from a small island, like, that's crazy to me. But don't forget to tell your auntie, tell your uncle, and tell your cousins that we're doing things over here. We doing things. Tell them, come and join the family. We're healing. We're being healed girlies. So like I always say, I can't wait to see you on the other side of your transformation journey, the other side of your healed girl summer, period. Because I know that it's gonna happen for you once you put in the work and you get it done. So I love you guys, and that is it for this video. Bye.